Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Sunday. So if today's Sunday and I'm recording this video, it means it probably, when you see it, by the time you see it, it will be Monday. But happy Sunday. Think about that. Sunday. Go out and connect with the sun. Monday, Moon Day. Forget what Tuesday is. Wednesday, Woden's Day. Thursday, Friday, Friar's Day, Saturday, Saturn Day, Sunday, happy Sunday. I think it's interesting that when you think about it, church day is on Sunday. Like I'm always saying, man, the sun is a divine light. Go connect with the sun. It's a beautiful day today. I feel like we're coming out of winter a little bit. I'm starting to feel the spring weather coming along. Next thing you know, summer will be here. Take a deep breath, enjoy the nature, enjoy the sun. In today's video, I want to talk about unity consciousness. I want to talk about unity, and I want to talk about God. My views on what's going on in this reality. These are just my thoughts, and there's a lot of people in the spiritual community that would agree with me, and I'm just gonna kind of off the cuff freestyle here, free flow here, and talk about unity consciousness and God. I took an introductory Japanese healing class the other day. That was pretty cool. It's called Jyorei. It's similar to Reiki, but this one you don't really touch the person. And Jyorei means purification of the spirit. And the things that I was learning in that class is just how I'm always saying, man, this is the physical world. This is the material world, the physical realm. And there's a spiritual realm as well. And that's where we come from. That's the truth. This is the illusion. This is the Maya, the dream world, the spiritual world, the spiritual realm. The spiritual world is the truth. And that's where we all come from. We all come from the light. And we come down here, and it seems that we come down here and incarnate. Maybe there's something we need to do. There's something we need to accomplish. Something we need to learn. And that's the thing. Just enjoy it. It's like a game. It's like a simulation. It's like a video game. It's like, we incarnate here as different characters, different avatars, and just enjoy the game, enjoy the ride, enjoy the good and the bad. And I know sometimes that's easier said than done, but like I said, on my Ayahuasca experience, I had a near-death experience, and I was in the void. It was pitch black, and I know I was under the influence of Ayahuasca, but remember, it's a plant medicine. The indigenous tribes of the Amazon use it as healing. It's a healing ceremony, and in that experience, I was in pitch black void. I lost all my senses. No sight, no smelling, no taste, no sound. All I had was my thoughts. And in that darkness is where I really learned. It changed my perspective on life. I was like, who was I to be, have anxiety? Who was I to be depressed? Like, how many of us just kind of throw those words around like, oh, I have anxiety, I'm depressed. It's like we kind of throw these labels on ourselves when we don't need to be doing that. But anyways, what I learned in the void was just look at how beautiful this day is, right? You could have this, or you could have pitch black nothingness. Do you want to have nothingness, or do you want to have the experience? I choose the experience, the good and the bad, the pain. There's a lot of pain and suffering in this experience. But when you take a moment to appreciate the small things, you have daily gratitude. You can appreciate the beauty. A nice sunny day, children's laughter, dog running around, a nice beautiful day, a nice meal, a nice conversation with a loved one, a nice conversation with a stranger, a beautiful song. There's so many things to be grateful for and so many things to appreciate. But yeah, I just wanted to illustrate that point for you. And when you think about the term depressed, Think about, what does that mean? Deep rest. It means you need to rest. There's nothing wrong with needing to rest. If you feel depressed, take some time for yourself. Take some time to rest. Oftentimes, a lot of people are just always on the go, go, go. So if you feel like you're depressed, take some time for rest. Deep rest. That's what that means. Anyways, getting back to my point here, I want to talk to you about unity consciousness. I want to talk to you about my view on the unity and my view on God. And like I said, the Jyorei class that I took recently, I'm excited for it. You know, I've always felt like I'm meant to be a healer in some way, and so this will just be another aspect of myself that I learn and polish. I've always felt like I've had like some healing energy out of my hands as well. You know, I notice when I pet an animal, when I pet a dog and stuff like that, it's like I can see how it's so relaxing for them and different things. And that's the thing too, is like we all have this ability. We all have the healing energy in our hands. So I'm excited to dive into that over these next few weeks. I think I have a podcast coming on with one of the guys from the organization, so stay tuned and look out for that. But yeah, so essentially what I was learning in that too is, like I said, the purification of the spirit. It's a Japanese modality, and so Jyorei means purification of the spirit. So like I said, this is the physical world. We are a spirit that incarnated into this physical realm. We are that divine energy. We are that divine light, that divine energy. And when we go throughout life, we have different traumas and different interactions with people and different things that happen that can put, and also the spiritual realm, like I said, what I always talk about too is there's the light and dark forces at play, that it's a battle. This reality it really is a spiritual warfare, but it keeps everything in balance. And I'm wearing my yin yang hat, and that's a higher level awareness. Once you get to that point of not being threatened by the darkness and seeing the darkness for what it is, that's a higher, more advanced level of spiritual wisdom. So I'm not going to really talk about that right now. I want to keep it kind of beginner level to help you understand my thoughts on unity, consciousness, and God. But like I said, when we go throughout life, our spirit gets dampened and it becomes darkened. Especially you look at people who are depressed and have addictions and things like that, their spirit has been darkened. And that's what Jyorei is, and that's what some of these healing modalities are, and Reiki is the purification of the spirit. And so in Jyorei, you channel the light from God, from the divine, from the source, and you channel that energy into the person you're working on, and it heals both of you at the same time. I'm gonna take a drink here. I bought this new Starbucks reusable cup. Dude, this thing was like $30. I can't believe they charge that much for this. But I'm trying to eliminate my plastic usage, because when you think about how many of us are buying Starbucks every day, where is this plastic waste going, So that's something that we need to work on in humanity as well. But yeah, so I guess I'll share a kind of emotional story that happened to me today. I actually cried today. I am a very sensitive person, and it's crazy, like, especially after the spiritual awakening that I've been on. I'm trying to tie this point into the unity, right? There's a homeless guy that I see around my neighborhood, and it was interesting, his name is Daniel, and that's my name, Daniel. Some of you know me as Daniel. Some of you know me as Lawrence. That's my middle name. I usually go by Lawrence, but my birth name is Daniel. And there's this homeless guy around my neighborhood that I've seen quite a few times. And every time I see him, I remember the first time I saw him, our paths crossed, and he was happy, man. And he waved at me. He said hi, and I was like, man, like, look at this guy. He's homeless. He wasn't asking for anything from me. He just wanted to say hi. And so I remember that day I went and hunted him down, and I think I gave him some water. And then I would see him around every now and then, and I bought him food a couple of times, or I had a meal and I brought him food. So there's been multiple times where I fed him, you know, but it reminds me of the quote, if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. If you teach a man to fish, he can eat for a lifetime. And so I kept giving him this fish, right? And he could eat for a day. But I'm realizing today, man, I got a little emotional because I see him, he's on fentanyl, and I saw him today and I sat with him. I went over to him. I'll probably put a little video in this video. I recorded as I was walking up to him, but after I got to him, I stopped recording. I didn't want to get that interaction on video. I just wanted it to be in the moment. But as I walked over to him, he's gotten so much worse. His hands are all swollen, and the fentanyl, he's got an infection, and his limbs are all infected and swollen. It's crazy what this fentanyl is doing to people, man. And so I always knew, I know a lot of these homeless people are on fentanyl, and I don't judge them. I don't try to ask them about these things. I just try to be there as a friend and talk to them and let them know, you know, that there's someone out there that cares about them. And without, you know, no strings attached, to give them a little meal, talk to them a little bit, and wish them well, wish them a good day, you know. But today I got a little emotional, you know. I actually cried as I left because he's dying. So I feel like I failed him, you know, but it's not my job to save him, even though I just felt so sad, you know, because it was like I drove over to the Starbucks and I see him over there on this weird little patch of concrete on like a sewer drain behind some bushes, and he's got a shopping cart there and he's passed out right there. And I saw him and I drove, and then I pulled over, or I went to Starbucks, got my coffee and got some water so I can give it to him, and then I pulled over and walked over to him, and I just got kind of mad, you know, because I was like, man, look at this guy, he's just dying right here. He's just dying right here, and nobody gives a fuck. No one fucking cares. No one cares. We're all so busy about our lives. We don't care about each other, man. And it's just, I just said, you know what, like, man, nobody cares. Like, I'm gonna care, you know? So I pulled over, and then I walked over to him, and like I said, it's that guy Daniel that I've seen multiple times. I've fed him multiple times, and I'm walking over to him, and this was the first time I was a little more, I wouldn't say angry, but a little more assertive with him, you know, like, and I don't know if that was the right thing to do. I mean, I was respectful. I wasn't overdoing it, but essentially I went over to him and I just said, hello, you know, and I had to wake him up, you know. I was like, hello, how are you doing? You know, like, are you okay? Hello? And then finally he woke up, and then I said, hey, I brought you some water, and he was appreciative, you know, he's all passed out. And I was just like, he was just thankful or whatever, you know, and I just said, you know, like, how are you doing, man? Like, you're getting worse, man. Like, you're not doing well, you know? And he's like, I know. He's like, you know, I got an infection. And I was like, dude, dude, and this is the first time, like, I've never asked him about his drug use in the past. I never asked him about it. I don't know what to do to help the guy, you know? Like I said, and then that's where it's like, it's not my, like, I know I want to help these people and all that, but it's really not my responsibility. Like it is, but it isn't, you know. It's like, like, that ruined my day, you know. Like, I got emotional about it, but, you know, it's like I said, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can teach a man to fish so he can eat for a lifetime, but you can lead him to water, but you can't make him drink. And so, you know, he has to want to change. He has to want it for himself. And like he was saying too, is like, it's, you know, he just can't get off the fentanyl, and so he's stuck. He's gonna die that way. He's gonna die like that. And, you know, yeah, so what was I telling him? I was just saying, like, hey man, like, you're not doing well. Like, you got to get off this fentanyl. Like, you know, I was asking him, do you have family around here? Like, you know, can you go stay with them? And he was just telling me, he was like, yeah, they're in Diamond Bar. I got family in Diamond Bar, some in Corona. And he was just saying, you know, they're living their life and I'm doing my thing, you know. And he was taking ownership of his life. He was saying, like, hey, like, it's not their fault, this is my fault. And I was just asking him about the fentanyl, like, how did, like, you know, why do you do it? Like, how, like, you know, how does it make you feel? It makes you sleepy? Like, because you're just dying, you're just passing out. And he was telling me that, yeah, it takes away his pain. So he's in pain, you know, and how many people are in pain? And so he's looking for a way out. And I just feel for the man, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like, I don't know why I'm sharing that with you. Oh yeah, I'm sharing it because unity consciousness. We are all one. You know, I say that a lot on the channel, and as I've gone along on my spiritual journey, you know, you hear that a lot, right? Oh, we're all one. Okay, cool. You know, for those of you who are on the spiritual path, like, you get it. But for those of you who aren't on the spiritual path and you're just living a normal life, you hear it and you're like, yeah, that makes sense, but you really don't get it. And so I'm going to try my best to illustrate this for you. We are all one. I am you, you are me. You know, and so that's why I felt so bad for this homeless man, because I see him as an aspect of myself. We are all divine. We all come from the source energy. We all come from that divine consciousness, that divine energy. So I see the God, I see the divine in him. I see an aspect of myself that, you know, we are all one. So I see an aspect of myself that's not doing well. I see an aspect of myself that's not doing well. And so I want to help that aspect of myself pick themselves up. And so I feel like I failed him, you know, and I was kind of, you know, comforting him and letting him know, like, what did I say when I left? I just said something like, I was like, man, like, you know, it breaks my heart to see you like this, you know, like you're not doing well. I was just like, it breaks my heart to see you like this, you know, and I don't even know you, you're just a stranger. You know, I've seen you around the neighborhood multiple times, and I got a little emotional. I got a little choked up, and I know he could hear it in my voice. I know he could hear that I cared, and he was like, I hear you. And I don't know, man. I hope that my words can give him a little encouragement, can give him a little love, and can help him continue to fight, and I hope he can come out of it, man. You know, if you have any thoughts on how we can help this guy, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Like I said, they have to want to help themselves. But taking it back to the unity consciousness, we are all one. Can you understand that? They say the butterfly effect is like when a butterfly flaps its wings, that wind goes across the country, and then it creates a windstorm, and that windstorm creates a tornado or a hurricane, and it wipes out part of a certain area. You know, everything is connected. That's what I'm trying to illustrate for you. Everything is connected. We are all one. Can you understand that? We are all one. It's just one. And the yin-yang symbol, you know, oftentimes in this reality, people are just like, so, you know, what do they call it? Duality, you know? People are so, it's like good or bad, light or dark, it's this or that. No, that's the wrong way to view this world. That was the other thing on ayahuasca that I learned, was just how everything is on a spectrum. Everything is on the spectrum. And I've already talked about that, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But when you understand that we have to look past, you know, the this or that mindset, you know, black or white, fast or slow, hot or cold, everything is on a spectrum. And so unity consciousness, we are all one. We are all one. We are all on this journey together. We all, and here, as the further I go along my journey too, this is so profound. You know, I always say that this reality is a mystery, so none of us really know the truth, right? You can get closer to the truth, but you'll never know the truth. But here's what I keep coming across as the further I go along my journey, and it's so profound, and I mean, I could be wrong, but this is what I seem to be coming across, is the concept of eternity. Time is the fourth dimension. Time is an illusion. We exist for eternity. I'm working on a song called Eternal Love. So we exist for eternity in different incarnations. We are divine. We come from God. We are God. And so the unity consciousness, when you understand that we are all one, the unity consciousness, I am you, you are me. And when you think about the concept of the universal mind, that's one of the principles of the mystical Kabbalah. which is a Jewish spiritual tradition. The universe is one of the first principles is the law of mentalism, the universal mind. The law of mentalism, the universal mind. So this is, and I like the way Billy Carson explains this. So if you're still tuned in, I hope you're paying attention. So this is, I'm going to try to, like I said, illustrate this for you so that you really understand. So the everything is mental. The law of mentalism, the universal mind, the consciousness. That's what we all are. That's what exists throughout space and time, throughout the different dimensions and, you know, different universes. And so like this. Think about this. Your reality is merely a projection. The mind, you know, consciousness, or I would say that the mind, the brain, the mind is like the projector. Like when you go to the movies and you're watching a movie on the screen, you're at the movie theaters, the projector is the mind and the screen is the reality. So when you look around, this reality is simply merely a projection. It's a projection of your inner world, your inner state. And that's why we're always talking about raising your consciousness, raising your vibration. As you heal yourself, you start projecting a better and more favorable reality. So that's what's going on, right? And I know this might be kind of hard to understand, but for those of you who get it, you get it. That's what's going on in this reality. It's just a projection from your inner world outward. So like I said, the universal mind. So when you understand that, right? So think about the mind as well. The mind has his and this, I'm stealing this from Billy Carson. I like the way that he explains it. So when you think about the mind, it has its 5 senses, right? Sight, smell, taste, touch, hearing. Your mind is like a computer and your senses are gathering data. And then your senses are gathering data and then it projects the reality to you through your mind. And just as your mind does that using the 5 senses, it's the same thing. We, you know, come from the universal mind, the universal God consciousness. So it's the same thing. Each individual human, each of us are the senses. We are gathering data for the universal mind. Does that make sense? So I'll say it again one more time. Like, just as our mind has the 5 senses which gather data, you know, right now I see the sun, I smell the air, I can taste the air, I feel the wind, you know, my senses are gathering that data and then it's projecting that reality outwardly so that I can see it. That's what's going on. And so when you understand that, right, it's the same thing with unity, consciousness, and God. We all come from the universal mind, right? The universal mind. We are the individual little senses. You know, we are the things that gather data for the universal mind, and we send that information back to that. And so we are all one. We are all connected. And so, you know, when you understand that, you have a different view on this reality. You have a view on this reality that, hey, like, we're all in this thing together. We're all one. And that's why you have, you know, all these spiritual people, these hippies and stuff that talk about world peace. And, you know, when you know who you really are, it's like, you're my brother, you're my sister. We all come from the same source. We might have different color skin and different things, but we are connected. And so that's the whole point of this existence. And that's why I'm trying to talk about these things on my channel. I'm trying to wake you up. Some of you are already awake and you're pursuing the path. Some of you aren't. And I'm trying to wake you up, and I'm trying to drop some wisdom, drop some knowledge about the things that I'm learning, so that, like I said, we can, you know, as I heal myself, I heal you. And then it's just a ripple effect. And we can go throughout this world making it a better place. And, you know, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the unity consciousness. You know, you are divine. You are so powerful. Don't ever forget that. Take accountability for your life. Let's help each other out, and, you know, let's drive this thing forward. You know, I think that's what we're here for. That's the test at this time, at this point in time. And so I guess I'll leave it there. Have a great day.